Good afternoon, or actually good morning from my side of the world. I'm Myles Sergé, and welcome to MS Live. Yeah, I'm here with my homeboy, uh, that guy you all know and love, Mr. D-KNOX. How are you today, D?
Man, I'm fried eggs, dog. I don't like the heat. There's been some of my friends over here joking with me, but I thought all you dark boys like the heat. I said, okay, good one, good one, good one, good one. But nope, nope. I'm from Michigan. I want just some regular stuff. I mean, despite that, I'm good. I'm blessed to have the air conditioner running 24/7.
Okay.
So that bill's gonna be like, in a month,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
oh well, whatever. How about yourself, Blood? How you doing?
I'm all right, man. It's getting kind of hot over here. All next week supposed to be like 90
Oh yeah,
plus. So I think it's like a worldwide phenomenon with heat. That's good. At least in Michigan, no snow. The weather's pretty nice, so we got to take advantage of that. But yeah, it's getting hot.
didn't
Uh,
didn't Trump say something about like we shouldn't be concerned with that or something? Some kind of
something,
global thing, yeah.
something like that.
Uh,
Something like that. It's been crazy, but it is hot, man. It's crazy hot. So, other than that, after we get done with the show, I am going to play my set at Tech Detroit. So,
yep. And you know you're gonna rock it. You know you're gonna rock
I,
bang it.
oh man, I hope so. I'll say that.
No. You're rocking that mother. There's no other options. It is what it is. You're going in there. You are Mike Tyson in them foods.
All right. Donnell said I'm going to Mike Tyson. So if it don't help, if it don't happen, you can blame him.
No, it will happen. It will happen, guys. It will happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of cool because I want to see. I'm actually excited for the rest of the show. Like after I play, like two people after me, it's like I think it's Juan. Juan's playing with his daughter, I believe. I
Okay.
could be mistaken. And then Billy Bob's playing later in another, and then in another area of the venue, he's playing a late set. Him and somebody else doing a live thing, and then Mike Banks is actually playing with a guy called Gerald.
Oh yeah, I saw that they're doing something. That's gonna be nice.
So I want to check that out. They were supposed to play last night, but something happened. The flight got delayed or something like that, so they moved it back. So
Okay, that
yeah.
should be a nice show.
Yeah. So that being said, with this show, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell to let people know that we are here and that you're watching us and we actually exist. Helps us a lot, especially when we try to get to this monetization period of the show. So please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell, hit the button, hit the thumbs up. Don't cost you nothing. It's free.
Exactly. Don't cost you nothing.
Don't cost you nothing. Show some support and love to us. We are also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music, just in case you don't want to see us for some strange reason, which I don't know why you want to do that, but just in case, I don't know, maybe you're in traffic, you're in jail, or who knows, but you can't have access to visuals, you can hear us. So when you get to those platforms, please share, like, subscribe. Same thing you do with YouTube, do it there. You can also follow us on Instagram, MS Live with D-KNOX, and on X, formerly known as Twitter, MS Live with D-KNOX. We're there. Hit us up. Also, you can email us, mslive with D-KNOX at gmail.com if you want to complain, not complain, give us props, guest suggestions, and all that. Hey, that's what the email's for. So use it. Just because, like I said before, we're trying to get to this monetization thing, so it's going to take some time. But if you want to help support the show, you can always donate via PayPal. mslive with D-KNOX at gmail.com is that email address that you send a donation to. Or to make it easier for you, in the upper left hand corner up in your screen, there's a QR code. You can scan that. It takes you. It could be left, right, left. It'll take you to a donation page where you can donate. Monthly donation set up automatic. It's there. And if you don't, that's fine too. But just in case you do, it's up there. We appreciate it. It helps pay the bills. So today is a great show for us, for everybody. And doing my journey of doing this stuff, Donnell put me onto a lot of stuff, and I try to help others when they ask questions about a lot of things that are behind the scenes, not just with production or making tracks, but what actually goes behind the scenes to make these tracks get out and to help you do stuff you should be doing that most people don't know. So enough being said with that. So this is what today we're trying to get, not just artists, but artists and actually industry people to come on the show to help explain a few things and just to provide knowledge. So without further ado, please welcome these two great gentlemen, Oliver Way and Jonas Stone from EPM Music.
Hey guys.
Thank you guys. How are you doing today?
Good. As Donnell was just saying there, man, just trying to stay cool because it's over here it's like 37, 38 centigrade, which I think is just over 100 Fahrenheit, and it's just cooking. So just staying inside in the coolest place I can find.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in London, and this week the June UK heat record just got broken 3 days in a row.
Wow.
Tuesday broke the record, then Wednesday broke that, and then Thursday broke that. So yeah.
Damn.
It's hot.
Yeah, I don't miss my days in England or Europe for that matter without having air conditioning. I got sit there in the house and click it. Woo, it's like freezing in here. So I'll be thinking of you guys when I'm like, oh God, it's so cold. I need a sweater.
Thanks for that.
It's not fun, man. It's not. You get outside and you're walking, and you feel like, I don't even know if I'm getting enough air, and then the sun is just like, it just doesn't move because there's no clouds. So you're just quickly trying to get in some shot, and it's blasting cold. And you come back home, and it's even with the air on, it's not like freezing cold. It's just kind of like warm cold.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's just keeping you okay. But I want to feel like it's cold on me all the time. But you know,
yeah. You guys at least got fans, right? Fans and windows open.
Windows are no point, man. You might as well shut those because it's just like an oven. You know. So I mean, fans and air conditioning really. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I feel sorry. I feel so bad.
Well, there's no need to feel bad, man. It's all right, you know, because we'll be complaining about it being too cold at some point soon.
Exactly.
I know. That's it, isn't it? It'll be too cold next week.
Exactly.
But you know, the crazy part, Myles, is I remember summers like this when I was a kid. I remember sometimes I just wasn't looking at the thermometer. You know, I mean, seeing how hot it was. But even going down south to Memphis and Atlanta, it was well in the hundreds, and we were still outside playing anyway.
But the difference is we were kids.
Yeah, just didn't care.
Didn't care.
You just go to the beach, run around. It's like you were hot, but somehow it didn't affect you. Just be outside.
Yeah.
Anyway, and only having a fan on, man. So it's crazy.
True. That's true. So if you guys been watching the show, if you haven't, not, I hope so. If not, then that's cool too. But watch from now on. We name each and every episode, and this is no different. So today, MS Live with D-KNOX Season 2, Episode 49. 49, y'all. Things you need to know with EPM Music. Yeah. So, when I was first coming up in this whole music stuff, not that I'm that far advanced and stuff, but I think I didn't know nothing. You know, I just figured out, okay, I know I wanted to DJ, so that's one thing. But later on, like, my whole transition into production was from Donnell. And my backstory with Donnell was like, I met him. I think I had just got out of high school. He's a little older than me, but we had a mutual friend, Marvin, who was Kiko, man. And I met him through Kiko in Grand Rapids. I think him and Jay, I think you guys did a show.
With Moby. Yeah, it was with Moby.
You guys played with Moby and you were in Grand Rapids. So we came and me and Donnell hooked up later. So during one of our conversations, and we first met, he was like, "Well, why aren't you making music?" And I'm like, "Well, I never thought about it. I just want to DJ." So I learned my production stuff. He helped me out. We got different styles, but that's part of my upcoming. But at some point, he posed me a question. He was like, "Well, what do you know about the other stuff involved with music?" And one of the major things that he asked me and kind of proposed to me and kind of told me about was about rights and publishing. And this is one of the main things that when I talk to people or people ask me questions, that nobody knows anything about publishing, especially in like the electronic music. You hear about it, you hear horror stories about like rap artists and this and that. Oh yeah, I signed my publishing away and blah, 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 blah. But nobody knows nothing about it. So today I was wondering, and we have different questions, if we can answer and address some of these issues, some of these questions and things that people need to know. Like if I didn't know anything and I came to you guys and said, "Hey, number one, what do you do? What's your role? What do you do?" And second, educate me on things that I should know in this industry. So
it's a small question to start with.
But before that,
explain to me the music industry.
Yeah.
And not from that damn book that everybody had. But so,
right.
But before we get to this, let's go. If you guys can introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself first, and then we can go into that. So
I'll start, should I? I run the rights management, which will explain a bit more about what that is. Oliver Way. I run the rights management section, which is to do with publishing, sync licensing. I also do with Robert Hood's and floor plans management. History for me is I started out in a record shop, as a lot of people in the business did, coming from the techno scene. Got involved with events. Later on, started a booking agency and was booking a lot of US DJs, actually, Chicago, Detroit, New York guys. And then around 2000, I went to work at a promotion company called Future Tracks, which is where I met Jonas and Addy, who also is one of our partners. And in 2001, myself and Jonas decided to start our own thing. Started out initially doing bookings myself. Jonas was doing PR, and then later on we ventured into digital distribution, and I ventured into publishing. That's my background quickly.
Okay.
So yeah, as Oliver basically said, we actually met in the 90s. We were working. I was working at a music PR company called Future Tracks, and that's where we first met and were working together. Prior to that, I'd first got sort of started a bit of writing journalism, and I love the music, and the new magazine got to start, and I wrote for them. They kind of liked my letters, and I said, "Oh, I'm going over to Belgium in a few weeks. I really like this label called Wonka. I don't know if you remember this label called Wonka." And they said, "Yeah, okay. Do you want to write a feature about it?" And I was like, "Okay." And I did that, and they just said, "Right, you can go freelance." And that's how my sort of first step into it. And I used to write for lots of magazines around that time. There was Magic Feet, which I know Donnell really well. He released on their label, actually. There was I used to write for Medical Maker, Music, Z, and DJ Mad, and various others. So that was what I was sort of doing in the background, and then working in this PR company. Me and Oliver basically went out for lunch one day. I said, "I've got this idea about setting up PR on my own." He went, "Well, why don't we do this? You set it up together. You do the PR, I'll do the booking agency." And that's sort of how EPM started. And then I would say about 3 or 4 years in, Bowles joined in as a partner, and she was sort of had the vision about the digital landscape, which was very just beginning at the time. I mean, days of Napster, people burning CDs onto an MP3 players, that sort of thing. And that's really that digital side has become the main core business of the company. And we work with hundreds of labels around the world, delivering all their music to stores. My side of that now is I work more with, marketing and pitching, working with labels, speaking to labels in advance of releases, to them about what assets we can use to promote their stuff, where we can pitch their music, whether it's at Spotify, Apple, Deezer, Tidal, there's so many stores that people may not be aware of, as well as the specialist dance stores like Beatports and Savvy Juno just went, Traxsource, various other more dance specialists. So we're looking really to highlight their music, get whether it's playlists, whether people featured or interviewed in stores, or really trying to get as much value for the labels and artists as possible to get their music noticed more, and obviously more plays, which equals more money at the end of it. So that's my main involvement is on the sort of DSP, which is the digital service providers, pitching to them and marketing, and trying to get our labels and artists more known, more visibility, and hopefully more money.
Cool.
I don't know about me, but I couldn't really hear Jonas very well.
Yeah,
sorry.
Okay.
Can you?
I typed it in there if you could get closer, because there was some moments it was in, and then some moments.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Right. Yeah. Hopefully
It was
that's
1 minute.
better?
It was clear. I think.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, that's better. That's it. That's better.
Okay. Right. Sorry, guys.
So Jonas does a lot of work. That's what he does.
I hope you got that waffle.
Yeah, he puts in the work. Yeah, I think you were writing for Tom and Magic Feet, as you said.
I don't know if you caught that, but because obviously I know you actually did the first release on Tom's label.
Yeah, on that. I remember him asking me a long time ago. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
What is this? you want me? That you know what? When he asked me, I said, well, I'll tell you what. I don't want any money, but you have to. You need to review my stuff for free. Then, like put it in the magazine. Well,
I ended up becoming one of the main writers there, and I mean, it was all for free. None of the writers got paid. It was all, just because we loved the music. But he had some really good writers.
Wilf wasn't Wilf like
Wilf? Yeah,
he was.
Cal Gibson. Who is a good producer himself, like a good house. He's a house producer. There was a good core of writers, and I think it ran till like 94 to 99 around. And that was that sort of. It was really, I guess, the end of the 90s that you started. It was the magazines started to go and the vinyl started dropping. It was that transition. And the beginning of your Napster and people burning CDs onto MP3 players. That was, you kind of didn't see it at the time, but that was where things started to change. Because we were, when we were promoting the music, we'd be posting out like 30 to 100 copies of vinyl,
Right.
people. So it's totally different landscape. In the 25 years that you've now been going, it's just it's shifted so far from where we were. How you get these people, how it's presented, it's everything's cool.
Your mic is cutting out again.
Sorry. Okay.
That's it.
Okay, I'm getting closer and closer.
Yeah, they go like this.
Soon it's gonna be like right.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay.
No,
Yeah,
it's clear and perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, I don't know if you caught that, but yeah, myself and Oliver, we were working at this company called Future Tracks. It was like, let's say in the 2000, like, we went out for lunch. I said, look, I'm going to set up on my own. And then Oliver, he's the one who said, well, look, if I join you, why don't we do it like this? So you do the PR, I'll do the DJ bookings, and that was the beginning of EPM.
Okay.
And then we've changed since, and Mel Bowles joined in about 2003, I think 2002.
Something like that, yeah.
And it was really her vision with the digital, which, as I say, it was in its very embryonic stages. I mean, this was pre-iTunes, maybe. It was it was the days of Napster, really, and people burning, ripping CDs onto their laptops and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember them days.
And and it was even back then, like, approaching labels to do effectively digital distribution, it was kind of a hard sell at the beginning. It wasn't taken that seriously by a lot of people. It was almost like a bit of a gimmick, like, do I want to press coloured vinyl up? It was in that same bracket almost. I don't think people really saw what was coming.
You're right.
And then, of course, Spotify changed everything.
Right.
With streaming, and now it's pretty much it's a very dominantly streaming landscape we live in now, and like the main stores. You've got your Apple, Spotify, Deezer, Amazon, YouTube. The list goes on. And all the specialist dance ones. Sadly, Juno just went. So
yeah,
you've got your big Dorsey Track Sources, Boomcat. So there's still some core, dance music fan related electronic stores.
So,
but
how many labels do you guys currently do distribution for?
It's I would say it's in the high hundreds, somewhere between
It's more. Yeah, I think it's even more than
700 to 1,000.
Wow.
I'd say up near 1,000.
Near 1,000, yeah. It's in that kind of ballpark, but maybe 700 more active labels. But yeah, so there's a lot of music. I mean, even just us, there's a lot of music that comes out through us every week, and that's let alone everyone else out there. A lot of music up through. So that's why, on the marketing side, when you're looking to get releases more noticed and trying to get into playlists or get features, or maybe whatever avenues you can find on a DSP, a digital service provider. And one of the first key element that I would say to anyone is, first of all, you need to find yourself a digital distributor and get set up with them, because that's your gateway to the stores, because you will not be able to get a direct relationship with a store. They will point you to a company like us.
Right. I remember, like, when Beatport first started, that there was a direct thing at first, and then it stopped really quick.
Yeah, maybe there's still some key labels they're direct with now, but it's pretty much, you won't get that anymore.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the other thing that I would also say to people is, when you release music digitally, you release it in, have a plan, have a schedule, and there's no point uploading a release and then setting it to release next week, because you're going to miss all the opportunities to pitch your music store. You need to be uploading music about 4 weeks in advance of release date. I would say to people 3 weeks minimum. 3 weeks absolute minimum, and that's really key, because that gives us time to come back to you and have a discussion with you about, okay, for example, we might go to an artist or a label, and right, we've seen your Spotify profile. Because, you know, what you've got to realise now is, back in the day, if you wanted to find out about a label of an artist, you'd go to your local record shop, flick through the racks, you'd pull out the releases, you'd talk to the guy behind the counter, you know, that's how you find out. Now, it's all online, and if someone wants to find out about you, you know, that's one of the places they're going to look. So we try and say to people, you know, a bit of housekeeping, you know, make sure you've got your image up on the stores. It's the image that you want to use across all the stores. Your bios there. You've got your links, your social media links, you know, because you're kind of setting up almost like a shop front, you know, like, hey, this is me, you know, and then you've got your release, you know, make sure obviously that all your releases are, you know, connected to your profile. Because that does happen where releases go to the wrong, you know, if you've got someone called John Smith and there's 100 other John Smiths, that can happen.
Right.
Just little things like this that just, you know, make you look more professional. And there's things like, you know, just say Spotify again, you can highlight a new release with your artist pick. You can even make a playlist and get that linked to your profile. And you can do the same things with other stores like Apple Music or Tidal, where you can get the same image on your profile. You know, you can make everything look good across all the stores, and that's you know. And there's another thing. For example, maybe a lot of people don't know this, that you've got monthly followers, right? You've got people you've got so many followers. So when you have a new release, as long as that release is uploaded, it's in their system with a week in advance of release. That release is then going to go to all your the release radar playlists of all your followers. So that is one of the biggest drivers of initial plays on any, you know, for any artist. You know, let alone getting yourself into bigger playlists, getting a track into bigger playlists, which everyone wants to do. But that's something that you can do yourself, and the way to do that is just simply releasing your music in good time, having it ready on the stores weeks in advance. You know, and this is just basic things that anyone can do. You know, like ourselves, we a lot of people may know this thing called Spotify for Artists, where you can claim your profile in the back end of Spotify, and that's where you pitch music to their editorial playlists as well. Now, we do this, but obviously, if you've claimed your profile, you can do that directly as well. There's nothing stopping you if you wanted to do that. And there's a few little drivers. I know you've got 500 characters to sort of pick up the release. You can tag the various genres that you're going to. So all these things need to happen in advance of the release, and and that's why we always say to people, that's one of the things is, get your stuff uploaded 4 weeks in advance, 3 weeks in advance.
Okay.
And then we've got the time to kind of map out, have discussions, look at what we can do, where we can pitch, and go and really try and do the best job we can for that release.
Cool.
To get to the point where you're 2 weeks prior to release date, when you start this together, because the stores need stuff in advance as well. But it's all the people who work behind the scenes at your Apples and Spotify. They've got to go through all the pictures in advance and then start putting the playlist together as well, and and updating them. So these simple things. There's a lot of simple things that someone can do as an artist that really just helps. You just get your music out there, and then obviously we try and come in and give it that extra push.
All right. So for guys, I know Jonas, your mic still keeps going in and out.
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah. So you're on a laptop, I'm assuming.
If you see me do like this, Jonas, that's okay, I'm trying to give you a little tip there. The mic, get closer to the mic. This is
okay.
You guys,
so sorry, I might have gone off a bit of a tangent there, but I think
No, it was great.
Because
Just like,
it's basically like you say, it's what people need to know.
yeah,
And there are basic things that people might realise or might think are super behind the scenes thing that only certain people know. But there's a lot of stuff you can do.
Yeah.
And claiming your profiles and things like that is is a good first step, and then getting those profiles looking sharp.
right.
If you've got new press shots, you can update it, that sort of thing. You're putting out, because it's not just the music. It is kind of a mixture of music and social media. The way the stores work now, it's like a platform in itself. Because it's the amount of discovery that goes on through it, and you get that thing as well where you may know yourself when you listen to a playlist. And it gets to the end of the playlist, and then it just starts putting in stuff that's similar. And there are certain things you can do to maybe boost your track up in those what are called autoplay things, behind the scenes, which we can help sort of facilitate things like that. But there's getting your releases well in advance just helps.
It's key, yeah.
It's the number one thing. If you upload a release in our system and it's coming out next week, it's like you shoot yourself in the foot.
Right.
You're not giving yourself the best chance to get your music heard by as many people as possible. Which every artist or label wants to tackle, don't they? That's the key thing. And then obviously that gives us time to get to have a discussion with you and look at the ways we can push it on even further.
Right. So I'm in the process. I upload my release. Jonas and his crew do what they do. And the next thing I know is that all is DSPs. So Apple, Spotify, whatever, different stores. Okay, cool. So I'm sitting back. I'm seeing, I can see people playing it, charting it. That's cool. So 8 months from now, I'm thinking, damn, where has my tracks gone? Who's playing them? Did I make any cash? And what's going on? So I'm assuming from Jonas, this is where it comes to your wheelhouse. Correct, Oliver?
What are you talking about? The actual payment, financial?
Well, later on. So let's just say, I don't know, 20 years later.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm thinking, wow, back in I don't know, 2026, I had this track that kind of did some things. Let me hit Oliver up. What's going on? So
yeah, when a release is kind of live and we're working on it, we will report back and say you've got you in this playlist, that playlist. We couldn't analyze how it's done in the first few weeks of release date. Look at where the biggest drivers have been. If you get in a big editorial playlist, you can see the spike in plays. You definitely know something happened. But it is hard to get in those playlists, but everyone's in the same boat. The pitching process is the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where if you're in it, if you pitched and you're on time, you've always got a shot. And if you put in some good information about the release and maybe who's supporting it, what bit of feedback, got some gigs coming up, something special's going on around the release. It's that that if that's all cool stuff we can put in to send to those editorial teams, that all really helps. Those guys or those people, they have thousands and thousands of pictures to go through. So anything that helps just make it stand out, look at a bit better. But yeah, we're always looking at within the first few months really of the release is like really key to just driving the initial support of the release. And then when that release is effectively kind of catalogued, it's been out a while. If there's something cool going on with that track, we can always go back to editorial teams and say, "Hey guys, this track's been used in this new movie by Quentin Tarantino."
That'd be nice.
Just as an example that people will know,
Right.
but, or it's been used in an advert, or it's been used even like a catwalk, a fashion house that you get used in those by those companies for their online social media campaigns, that sort of thing. Anything like that is something we can go back and kind of highlight release again.
Yeah.
Definitely the first month is the key for the really trying to get in those sort of because those main playlists, the genre ones, whether you might go techno bunker or deep house, relax, those kind of playlists, that's driven by new releases. So that's where you're sort of looking to try and get it. But you've got to be in it to win it, as they say.
Right.
So I don't know if I kind of answered the question, but that in terms of say data that you're getting back, that that's we do that, and there are in our back end system there are statistics and there are projections that as a label you can access, and you can see where your top territories are. There's loads of demographic information there, but there's also a lot of information if you as an artist, as an example in Spotify for artists, if you go in there you can find out how many streams that you've got. You can find out your top 10 countries. So for example, Myles, if you're thinking, hey, I want to do a tour in Europe next year, as an example, your booking agent could go on there and see your top countries, and say, hey, look, you've been doing well in Germany, Netherlands, Spain, let's try and see if we can get some gigs in those countries. So you've got all that information is there, and so there's a lot of information you can access already about how many plays you've had, what even what the age demographics are as well. That's also all in there.
Wow. See, that's good because I've never thought of that.
Okay, yeah. So I can honestly say, if you haven't claimed your artist profile, not just on Spotify but other DSPs, that's a real
Apple Music and stuff like that.
That's really important. It's really important. And also, once you've claimed it, you can, if you've got management teams, or you can give them access, they can see all this stuff as well. So, really, just keys, small things that can really help you as an artist develop. So there's a lot of statistics, not only in our back end system, but also in some of the stores. Some are, some have better back end systems than others that you can see more and access more data.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah, those are all key. I hope that sort of helps a bit.
Yeah, for sure. I just learned a lot of new stuff. So I mean, that's what we're here for. But yeah, I especially with the statistic thing. I mean, I never thought about that. It's going and seeing who's actually listening to my music to take that for gigs.
Yeah.
Thought about that.
I mean, it's all linked, and don't forget as well that as well as your visibility on these stores, you might want to be doing things like having a PR campaign, where you're sending out your music to other DJs, promoters, or radio, press. So the people at the stores, they don't live in a bubble; they live in the real world as well. So if they see a release is blowing up, it's on the radio all the time. you know, that can also help, you know, so that can all feed into the ultimate goal, which is, you know, getting more streams on the platforms, which is equals more money. You know, it's, you know, that's what you want to do, and you know, and also building up your monthly listeners and your followers on the platform, because you know, the more followers you have, like I said, going back to that release radar on Spotify, you've got more people who are going to get that release when it comes out. It's going to be in their release radar playlist. So, you know, and those are all things that we can help with as well. But and that all comes down to releasing your music in good time.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you know, like I say, we're dealing with hundreds of releases every week, and you know, with the stores, it's thousands upon thousands that they're having to navigate. So the more time you have, and the more information that we've got or you've got to put in the pictures, you know, which comes back to the feedback. So if you've already got a PR or a promo campaign going on, there's feedback we can put in those little boxes.
Okay.
Say, you know, it's, you know, so and so's playing it, or so and so on BBC Radio 1. You know, all these kind of things that just might make your release stand out a bit more.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a wealth of information, y'all. So hope you out there taking notes. There's something.
Yeah.
Go back and rewatch it, but that's a lot to digest. Which now I have a question for Oliver, actually, because you know, we really understand what Jonas is doing, you know, behind the scenes. It's a lot. But like, Oliver, could you take us to your world?
Yeah.
On the publishing side, and maybe also not just the publishing, but the people might want to also know about when you guys do licensing of songs for like games or television shows, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But the publishing thing is a really good thing. I think people need to be.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's well, it depends really, because I mean, it isn't just money that falls out of the sky. You know, it depends on what's happening with the music. You know, publishing money comes from public performance royalties. So that would be if it's played on the radio, if it's played in a club or a place that is licensed, and that venue or that event is handing back track lists. Anything could be, you know, if it's played in a supermarket, you know, that's a public performance still, you know. So that's one form of revenue of publishing. The other form is mechanicals, which is if it's getting pressed up on vinyl, or this one's CDs. I don't know if anyone's doing CDs anymore, but if it is a CD or any format like that, even a download is considered a mechanical, because a mechanical meaning basically a transfer of audio onto a device. So it doesn't matter what that device might be. A download would be transferring an audio onto your computer, you know, or your phone. So that's a transfer of audio, you know, onto a device. So that's mechanical. So depends on your sales, obviously, and where it's being played. So if a track comes out and it's not getting really much coverage, it's not getting downloaded much, it's not getting played much, there's no public performance money, there's no radio play, then there is no publishing money, you know. So that's why, again, it's important to you know, promote your releases and, you know, and do things the right way and try and, you know, push your music, because otherwise, it's not, publishing doesn't just get generated from nothing, you know.
Right.
So and then so besides that, what I would do is register those songs into the databases of the different societies around the world. So every single country has its own collecting society, and you've got two types of collecting societies in some countries, and one will do both things. So as I said, the performance royalties and your mechanical royalties. For example, back in the day, in England, you had MCPS and you had PRS. PRS being performance and MCPS being for mechanicals, but they've joined forces now, so they both collect the same In the US, you've got ASCAP and BMI collecting performance royalties, and then Harry Fox, or the MLC, collecting mechanical royalties. And every country has got their own setup, you know. Germany obviously has got GEMA, France has got SACEM, goes on and on and on. So my job is to make sure those songs are in those databases. So if there's I don't know, I mean, and I'll give you an example. I've got a floor plan Robert Hood track got played in a fitness class in Australia, which happened, you know, and then you know that money comes back to you because that was a public performance. So this gym was, you know, pays their license fees. They're writing down the tracks that they're playing. So the fee they pay to the local society there, which is called APRA, they go, okay, right, part of that license fee that this gym has paid for the year goes towards this song that was played, you know, and that's publishing, you know, and that comes back then to the musicians, to the artists, to the writers. But obviously to know where that money is going to go, it has to be in their database to understand, you know, who to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So my job is to make sure that is in there. And there is quite a big misconception from a lot of people that join up with societies. Like just say as an artist you join up with BMI, or as an artist you join up just with PRS, which is you can only join up with one, but then a publisher can join up with all of them. So it's important to have a publisher so they can get your registrations into all the societies, because even though the society like the PRS or BMI or ASCAP tell you you only need the one, once you get it into one it'll go everywhere. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
That's a massive lie. It might do if you've got a big hit single, you know, and it's getting played in the charts, and it, you know, it's therefore it triggers a load of money, and then it might appear suddenly, you know, in all the society databases. But generally, if you're a member of a society and you look into another society, the tracks won't be there.
Okay.
Unless somehow or another something's happened, some money could have triggered it somehow or another. But generally, it won't be there. Most of the time, when I look up anybody that we're publishing. And say they were a member of BMI, I see they got, say, 500 tracks in BMI. If I look at PRS, they'll have 150. Or in GEMA, they might have 20, you know, whatever. So they're not communicating, they're not sharing information. So it is very important to have a publisher to make sure your stuff is getting registered correctly in the right places. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And then also to making sure that what does land up in that society database is correct, because that can also go wrong. You know, like Jonas was saying earlier about, you know, having John Smith being a very standard name, and make sure your Spotify playlist is connected to the right John Smith. Same thing with publishing. You know, there's artist names that are very similar sometimes, and if that track hasn't been put into the society database correctly and the wrong name's been put in, or slightly different, you know, or it could be a similar person and they've attached it to the wrong person, which I've seen happen many times.
Yep.
And somebody else is going to land up with your royalties. You know, I've seen that happen loads of times where someone's got, you know, quite an ambiguous name, like a John Smith, whatever. And so they're registered correctly in their society database. That's all good. It might have triggered a radio play in another country. Somebody might have registered it correctly, but they've just put that standard name in. They don't know who that is. And so the society just kind of randomly picks one, you know, and so somebody could land up with all your royalties. So it's people like my job to make sure that is the right John Smith, for example, that's going to the right person. So that's part of it. That's the publishing side of it, really. And then the SIG licensing side is just that's the other sort of income you can get through rights management. SIG licensing, which is, I mean, I do some of it myself, but we've got two other people that work with us that have been doing this for many years, and they know all the supervisors and all the people that are licensing music, and they keep up to date with whatever trends are going on, whatever new TV shows are about to kick off, whatever new films are coming out. They're on the databases of these people that are searching for music for these new shows coming up, or this new film coming up, or this new game coming up. So their job is to make sure they're in touch with these people constantly, you know, and then to make sure they know what's going on, and that they're also on their mailing list. So if they are doing out a search for music, they're getting those searches. then they create a playlist of things that they think are suitable for that search and pitch that. You know, and it doesn't always happen, obviously, because there's loads of people trying to pitch for the same thing. You know, but like again, you've got to be in it to win it. So you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. You know, but that's the nature of the game. And yeah, that's kind of that's the sync license side of it. It's basically just to keep pitching the music. So it's important for us to find out when people have got new releases coming out, and even if it's not even released, it doesn't matter. If it's a track that you think could be suitable for a show because you've been watching that show, and you think, oh, I've got something that sounds like that. Doesn't have to have been out. You can send it over to us, and we can. If we agree with you, we can pitch it. You know, and then if it does get picked and it does get synced, you know, then it's quite a good idea to release it. Why not? You know, because people might start Shazamming it, for example. You know, and then that can help drive some sales or some streams for the release.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. I mean, you know, it's a lot of work, you know, just on the publishing side, you know, to just keep on top of registrations and dealing with what they call conflicts. Because often, you know, you might put a release into a database, and then you'll get contacted by that society saying, oh, somebody else is claiming that song, or we've already got a song that's named that. You know, can you help us, you know, figure out what this is and who it is? And this is daily. You know, if you're dealing with all the societies in the world, every country has its own society. So you can imagine, you know, you're constantly dealing with these companies to try to make sure that the registrations are going in correctly and the people's music is registered correctly worldwide to make sure you get your royalties correctly.
Yeah.
That also sounds like a lot of work under the hood.
Yeah. Sure.
It is a lot of work, man, and like, you know, and you have to prove it as well. You know, I mean, at times I've had to deal with, say, if a major example, it has got a track registered, might have been through a contract that's expired many years ago, but it's in the database. It's in the society's database. To get that changed is a massive battle. You know, if you're up against Universal or Warner's or Sony's or whatever, you know, the societies immediately take their word as golden. You know, it doesn't matter if I hand a contract over. Sometimes they're like, you know, not unless that person or that major label is going to say, yeah, it's okay. They might not change it, and it takes a lot of work sometimes, even legal letters, to just try to get things updated and changed. I mean, it happens every day, this sort of thing, you know. So that's kind of what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, is just making sure, registering new music, making sure back catalogue is in there correctly, making sure there's no mistakes, making sure it's going to the right person, you know. And then twice a year we do statements, and then in the meantime, as new music is coming in, I'm feeding that to our two guys that are doing the SIG licensing. We've got one guy in London who's handling sort of UK and Europe, and then we've got another guy in the States who's handling, you know, obviously the States and Canada. So yeah, I just keep feeding them the new releases that are coming up, and as I said, every day they're getting briefs come through for new things that are happening, and they find out about new shows that are happening. So every day they'll be pitching for playlists, you know, to these music supervisors. And as I said, a lot of the time it doesn't work out, but you just got to keep pitching, and sometimes it does work out, you know.
Right.
Yeah, and I totally get it. Got to just, guys, you hear that? Keep making your music. Don't stop. Yeah. Like Terrence Dixon always writes on Facebook, keep going. keep make more music. Don't worry about it. It's just keep going. Now, I do got to ask you guys about Addie. I got to ask, what is it like to work with the great Addie Pantera? She's like a god at the promo.
Yeah, she's great. She's great.
She is.
Yeah.
I did actually met her once in person at Printworks when I had a gig there with Masio.
Okay.
And I told her to come. I would be there just for that night, and so it was like nice to actually meet her in person. But behind the scenes,
she was somebody that worked with me and Jonas in Future Tracks before I even got there, you know. And so she was part of that Future Tracks crew, which is this PR company. And at the time, Addie was running the radio department. So she was, you know, pitching to, you know, the BBC Radio 1, all the radio stations, and So we've known her for forever, really, as well. I mean, actually, the first time I ever met her, she was also working the door at a club called Eurobeat 2000, and at the time, I was doing the tour bookings for Frankie Bones, and I just turned up, and Frankie was playing at this club Eurobeat 2000, and that's the first time I ever met Addie, which is kind of like 97, 98 time. And then obviously we kept in touch after that, and then obviously when I went to work at Future Tracks as well, she was running that radio department. So she's been alongside me and Jonas for a long time.
Yeah. She's a legend, and I mean a lot of people know her from Fabric as well. Back in the day, she was a guest list at Fabric. Like, in fact, people, it became Addie from Fabric, and it's like, no, Addie's from EPM. That was like another job, But she knows everyone, and
family,
and she'll still go to small little clubs, and like with some little electro producer she's really into, and she'll go and check them out. She's still very into it. So
just love for the music, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also it's important what Oliver was saying just then as well. That I think with publishing or licensing, people kind of get it a bit too much in their heads that it's all about getting your music in a big movie or something, or and that's kind of like could be a once in a blue moon thing that does happen. It's very but the nuts and bolts and the day-to-day stuff that Oliver does, with connecting to all those societies, that's the most important bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the foundational stuff, to get that in there. Like I said, if you don't do it, then somebody else, and there is some money there, then somebody else is going to get it. It's whether you care about that or not. They think, oh no, it'll only be pennies, but you don't know. You don't know where it's going to be. You don't know where it's going to land up. Like I said, it could end up getting played on a radio, station like a BBC or whatever, or like I said, in a fitness class in Australia, And then if you don't have that music registered properly, somebody else is going to get it.
Right.
Whether you care about that or not, but and that's your money. And the thing is also with the societies is they'll only keep it for a certain number of years. After maybe 3 years, or every society is different, but after a certain number of years, if nobody's claimed that money, it just disappears. It's gone. They say they will distribute the money amongst their members.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows where that lands up.
Right.
But that is what happens. I mean, like I remember Liam, who also works with us. He used to work at PPL in England, and that's another side of collecting society. That's another sort of collecting society, and he was Fabric in London was paying their license fees and everything, and obviously that no one's declaring any playlists in there. So he was saying most of the money from Fabric was going to Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Or something, because they don't know. Okay, we're going to pay this to somebody, so they'll just pick one of their, the clients that they want to keep happy, So they'll say, all right, well, he gets that, a big share. So I mean, you can imagine if Ed Sheeran was ever played in Fabric, I think that DJ would never be playing in Fabric again.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's been a long-running issue with clubs that the music that's played in the clubs is not going back to the artist because it's not being registered enough. There are some that do it, but not enough clubs. But it also relies on DJs or artists or managers providing playlists and stuff. But it's those sort of micro payments, shall we say, and the unglamorous side of publishing. Those are payments that all add up.
Exactly.
You get your 6 monthly statement. That it's going to be mostly made up of those kind of payments.
Yeah. So what I've been doing lately, and I have a question, and then something I've been doing. So as of late, the release I have a release that just came out on my other label, a couple of days ago. But I've been noticing when you post stuff on Instagram, now you can add music to it.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff adds up. Is that correct too?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do, if I post something, I try to post my own something from my labels or my own stuff. So I mean, I don't know how much the fraction of it is, but I'm assuming every time somebody's opening it or somebody's watching it, is adding up, correct?
Yeah,
I mean, it all depends on how big that person's Instagram page is and stuff. I mean, like and same with TikTok as well. There's this new, I guess, over the recent years, there's been this new revenue stream called micro licensing. Which is influencers, whatever, licensing music for their TikTok channels, and that gets money. And the more plays they get, the more money you get. And you might think it's small, but these days that can add up very quickly, and it can become something that's a lot more than downloads would be, for example. So these kind of tiny payments, might sound like it's stupid, but it isn't. And I said they all add up.
Yeah. All right. And what's my other question? Oh, yeah. So that, and then I just lost train of thought. But anyway, I'll go this way. So
it's all important.
Yeah, it's important information, people. So like, if you listen back and just check it out for yourself, because I think everybody needs to know this. But I need to know a question from Oliver. I do have a question for you, or something I need to know. So back in my little research days, when I trying to figure out who you were, I came across that you are a member of Detroit Grand Poobahs.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
I figured out, because I'm like, all right, so I know Brian Gillespie. I know he has something to do with that. He's either a part of it, or he was like managing or something. So I know Brian. But then I'm like, okay, I know some of the people, but like Oliver was in it. So can you explain that? Talk about that.
Well, I wasn't in it from the beginning. Obviously, first of all, it was Paris, the Black Foo, Matt Gowdy Jr. and Andy Toth are the two original members, and Gillespie released Sandwiches originally,
Right.
And that's how he kind of got involved with all of that. And Sandwiches blew up, became an underground hit. This was before I was in Poobahs. I was actually doing the bookings for the Poobahs at that time. So yeah, I was doing a tour with them, and that first album had come out, that Funky Y'all album. And then Andy and Paris decided to go their separate ways. And Paris was doing the whole thing on his own, just doing gigs and stuff. But if you know Paris, he's a funk man. When he was doing his shows, he'd be concentrating on the equipment, trying to do the live show, focusing on the hardware. And I'd go to some gigs with him, and I'm like, you really need to be at the front of this show. While you're doing this on your own, you've got your personality, you're singing, and while you're sitting there on your own, you're not really interacting with the crowd, which is what he was always really good at, know. So I said, well, why don't I just help you out? Let me come on stage with you, let me handle the equipment, and then you can, do your vocals, sing, and interact with the crowd. So it started out like that. And that was during the second album that they did on Poker Flat, or he did on Poker Flat, Galactic Ass Creatures from Uranus.
I can see him doing that too.
So while that was going on, he was actually living with me while he was making that album. And then, so I said, that's when that all started happening. It was like, look, you're doing these gigs, I'm getting you all these gigs, but you're not able to kind of do what people expect you to do, which is, enjoy the crowd and talk to them and, interact with them. So that's why I got involved, started helping him out do the live shows, and then kind of went from there really. Afterwards, I just started working together on the music and then just doing the shows together more and more.
Okay.
And that was basically how I got involved with them.
Okay. Yeah, I had to ask. I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was funny times, man.
Yeah, and then my other question, and whoever wants to take this, can you tell us a little bit about the label, the EPM label? Because I know Donnell's been on there, Dan, Kurt, and a couple of people I actually know. So, and of course Rob has been on it a few times, I know, and some other people. But it's a great label. So, how did that get formed? And it's kind of like, I think you guys got like your legacy artists. That's what I see on the label. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Thanks. Well, I think it started out when we were 10 years, didn't it? And it was like, how do we celebrate 10? And then we sort of thought, well, why don't we put a release out with, tracks from artists we know, unreleased tracks, and then the label spawned from that release. And and then obviously once your label's out there, you start getting more and more people take note. People are offering you tracks. It was sort of very slow, and then and then quite quickly we realised, okay, we've got a label here that we can really develop. And then Oliver's released his debut album a few years ago on the label. As he's done stuff with Paris on the label, Tubers. Donnell. You've been involved.
Donnell, Esteban Adame.
Esteban. It's one of those. Suburban Night, obviously Robert Hood, Floor Plan. On the compilations we've had tracks from Regis, Marco Passarani, let alone we've developed sort of Mark Broom. There's a guy in Belgium called Tires that we had about 6 releases on. There's Francesco Terranova. We've had Brian Chapman.
It kind of happened accidentally, really. It wasn't meant to be, once like Jonas said, once we put out that compilation, start getting sent music, and it just seemed a shame not to put it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Basically, we had the means there, so why not?
And then you're in a position where you go, okay, maybe we can approach some artists we'd like to see if they, we could work with or put a release out with them. Sometimes people approach you and the music is like, amazing, it really works. It's really a case of if me and Oliver both like it, let's go. It's kind of as simple as that. And I think a lot of the smaller electronic labels kind of work on that basis. And this year we've got a big compilation coming out later in the year that we're working on at the moment. I don't want to give tip. There's some big hitters on it. There's some really good names on it. Someone in this conversation might even know about that.
I do know something.
That's going to come out towards the end of the year. But we've already got, I would say, in the region of 20 new tracks, and there's some good stuff there, really good stuff. That's a little labour of love. Celebrate being 25 years, which is quite a milestone, really. Kind of feels like it's something like that. It's a nice celebratory release. We just did something recently where we reissued something that I don't know if I would say overlooked, but definitely just needed a little bit more shine. It's the Cole Taylor True Faith album, and that's remastered by Chris McCormack. That just came out a week or so ago. Things like that, which it still stands up, and the remaster sounds great. So there's definitely, like you say, legacy. There's a really good catalogue there. We've got a Spotify playlist with all the tracks from the label on it, and it's like 600 tracks now.
Easily.
Yeah. We've just worked with loads of great producers. And, it's been a privilege to put that music out, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you guys got that great podcast series going too.
Oh, the mixes, that's
cool. Yeah, that's really good. We just had 200th edition last month with Marcel Detman. And in fact, to bring it back to Detroit, the new one that just came out on Thursday is from DJ Godfather. Back to the crew there, and Brian Gillespie. He was the first person I met that
you were talking about earlier. He was the first one who connected me with all of the guys behind it, like Harris. You know, and I was in Detroit in like '98, and he gave me a whole load of vinyl from all these little labels that they were starting up. You know? And he gave me sandwiches, and I went to the editor of Dropstar and kind of didn't pick up on it. And I was pitching sandwiches to him to do a feature on them. And then about, I don't know, a year later when it came out, he said, right, next time you pick, I'm going to pay more attention.
Right.
Because it blew up, you know. And he was like,
Yeah, he had that like a year before. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So there's, you know, and it's great that those guys are still doing it, you know, and there's still all that grassroots stuff.
It's still going, yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see him. I haven't seen Brian in years. I'm hoping he'll be out today. I know Goff last night, so I didn't go to Detroit last night, but I look from the pictures I seen, look like he killed it. So,
where is he at now? Is he in Ann Arbor or Detroit?
I'm assuming Detroit.
I think so as well. I think it's in Detroit. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I remember being up in Ann Arbor and living there briefly and seeing him all the time over around there. And I wasn't sure if he was even living there at the time, but he used to come up to that radio station over there too.
Because Ectomorph lived there, didn't he? Was living in that. Oops. Was living in Ann Arbor.
Well,
they were going
good old times back then.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, D, you got anything?
No, I was just gonna go back to the beginning when you guys were talking about how you first started even hearing about digital things becoming digital. And I was just gonna say my little spin on it was, do you guys remember, or Myles, you probably remember DG, Jay's manager on Black Nation. Well, I remember somewhere around 97 or 98 when we were living in that loft, you know, John Fisher's loft downtown. We all had our own rooms, and it was like this big loft downtown, guys, where like Jay and I shared a studio, a couple other guys had studios.
It was like a warehouse.
Yeah, and all these rock bands. It was totally unlivable, but we were living there. And like downstairs, it was like all these rock bands were coming and practicing, and you could never get no sleep in there. And was just cheap to live, but like kind of weird, but like really artists. But I remember John Aquaviva coming down all the time, meeting with DG in that loft, and I remember DG when he came over one day, he was saying, "Oh man, I gotta get to start digitizing all my vinyls, all my records." I was like, "For what?" Like, well, I didn't even get what he was talking about. He said, "Because this Final Scratch thing that Richie, John, and I are talking about, and because Richie was coming down too sometimes to Kalamazoo, and, like hanging out at the loft with John and DG." Because DG actually, he's the one that invented that Uber stand, that first laptop stand. The Stanton.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so they were talking about doing that stuff way back in the mid to late 90s. And I just, I couldn't wrap my head around what he's talking about. I thought, okay, you're just digitizing them just so you can have them on CD or have them in storage somewhere or something. Like, why would you do that? And then years later, okay. when I'm playing Tractor vinyl and everything, okay, I get what they were doing. So that was like my first inclination to that. I had kind of having the first hand-on experience, but not fully knowing what they were doing. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was one of the things that kind of, it's when Mel did, was we were actually at ADE. I think it must have been 2001, maybe 2002. And there was a panel that she went to. Me and Jonas were downstairs socialising, let's say.
Well, no, weren't we both on a panel that was to do with music and football?
Oh yeah, you could be.
Yeah, and then she was like,
she was at a different panel.
I'm gonna go and find something else to listen to.
Yeah, and then she came down and met us and said, "I've just been listening to this talk about digital music, and no idea what this is, and again, this is like 2001 or 2002. I think I got a feeling it was 2001. And then she kind of pulled in this tech geek, basically, just a computer nerd, and just started talking to him about, do you know how to transfer music into this other format, which as MP3, obviously. And but you know, when we first started doing it, if you say MP3 to people, people looked at you like, "What the hell's that? You know, what are you talking about? What's an MP3?" You know, and so he sort of developed the initial beginnings of our transferring of audio, you know, into a digital format. He kind of initially set that up. At the time as well, we then, you know, once that started happening, we knew we could do it, and we got our first contract I think it must have been with. I mean, there weren't many stores around there. There was iTunes, and maybe, you know, a few handful of others. That was it, you know. And then it was a matter of going around our contacts, really, that, you know, that Jonas knew from PR and the artists I knew from doing DJ bookings, and saying to them, you know, do you want us to, you know, distribute your music digitally? And as I said, most of them didn't really understand what you're talking about. And I said, well, look, just send me the stuff on CD. You know, if you can do it on CD, just send it to me, and then we'd have to rip the CDs and manually digitize the tracks ourselves, you know. And this is back in like 2002 or something like that we were doing that. And then even then there was only, I think, maybe one or two other people doing distribution. There was like we were the first dance focused distributor, and maybe I think the second, maybe the third distributed period. You know, there was nobody else out there, you know, so we were kind of figuring things out as we went along, because there was no one else doing it. You know, no one knew what was going on. We were just sort of feeling our way out, you know, through it all, things going along. So it's been an interesting journee, which hasn't ended.
And then my last thing, for me at least, so what was like at least three weeks ago, the closure of Juno Download.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any idea of what happened, or is this
only what the statement was that they released? And I think Resident Advisor got a quote, like a little quote from someone, but I think it was to do with, you know, just everything streaming. I think you know, I mean, we were as shocked as everyone else. No, anyone knew that was coming. So I don't know who the current owners are of, you know, Download. Is it an American company? I think they might have decided to sort of call it a day. But you know, they very nicely on their statement on their website, they put, you know, that the music is still available on other, you know, and they mentioned a few, you know, but essentially competitors of theirs. But you know, it's really, I guess, the download side is just not generating revenue.
Yeah.
You know, and it is very streaming based music landscape now.
They're still doing the vinyl, obviously. Do you know?
Yeah, there is that.
Just the download thing.
Right.
Yeah. We didn't know any much as anybody else on that one.
Yeah. I think I've even on the Monday morning I went to look at Juno for something, and then that message came up, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know, I think that was literally the first I knew. I don't think there was a statement.
No, not beforehand. No.
So, yeah, sad, very sad, and feel for the people who work there as well. You know. So, hopefully things will come Phoenix from the flames. Yeah, hopefully. There'll be, you know, but it's, you know, this also highlights just how quickly it has changed. You know, I guess you've got, you know, Bandcamp doing their own thing, which is kind of almost its own ecosystem. You know, I think there are people who are very, very fiercely open Bandcamp.
Yeah.
I think the way they kind of almost managed the way through lockdown worked really well for them. You know, they started doing the Fridays and things like that. And, you know, it was great for the artists as well, but obviously for them, it was a really good PR move.
Right.
You know, there's still value in downloads. There are still people who want it, and there are stores iTunes is still going, and there are some schools that offer also it's like hi-fi level playing as well. A more premium subscription that you get higher level, WAV listening and so forth. So it's constantly evolving and changing, and that's what we've had to do in the last 25 years.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, I think we got a lot of insight and a lot of questions answered. And
yeah, there's a lot to it. Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We have to do a part. We have to do a part 2 with and get Addie, convince Addie to join us.
Of course.
I get some questions. That would be cool if your listeners have got certain questions about certain parts of the business. Then we can come on and do like a Q&A.
Yeah, that would be dope, because I've been talking about this, like trying to do some kind of thing, like a call-in thing or something. People can call in, and we've never done it, so maybe in the next couple of months we can set something up and we can do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, be great to do it again.
Yeah, for sure. So,
because I feel like there's more we can unpack.
Specific questions.
I think
because we've only just gone on the overview of it. Really, there's loads more, obviously, and if there's specific things that people have got to know, then it'd be interesting to hear what the questions would be.
Yeah.
So Myles, we probably could write a few people or ask, hey guys, if you got any questions about maybe some posts, if you have questions about publishing or digital distribution, hit us up on the email. Then or write us. Even on, I'll make a post on Instagram. I'll do something. Hey guys, if you're thinking about this, inbox me. Some questions, and as well, we can both do it, like a little video.
Absolutely.
That'd be nice.
Absolutely, that'd be cool.
Let's try to link this up. Like maybe next month we can try to plan something where everybody's available, and we'll questions. We'll have the questions ahead of time, and then if people that send emails or whatever that they want to join, we'll invite them to join like that. So it's kind of controlled.
Yeah.
Not just some fool showing up, doing something stupid or something.
Completely irrelevant.
Yeah. No, because we get some of that on here sometimes. We get some people writing some strange. You'd be like, what?
Yeah.
In the comment section, you're like, where'd that come from? Who are you?
Crazy,
we could definitely come on another time and do like open surgery,
Yeah, exactly. So, everybody, can you tell everybody where they can find information, where they can contact you if they have any questions or anything? It's basically the EPM site, I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah,
correct. Yeah,
everything is on there. EPM-music.com.
Yeah.
You can get everything on there and find out more about us. All of it, obviously, over social media. That's monitored regularly.
Yeah, we're regularly posting on Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, even X, and Threads, and TikTok. So and LinkedIn.
Okay.
So we're across
covered.
You can definitely get us on all the social channels.
Yeah, and they do respond because I be tagging them all kind of crap, and I don't know who's checking over. I'm like, damn, Myles again, but I tag them, and they like it, or somebody's liking it, or bots. But they are active on social media, so make sure you guys check them out. Check out the amazing artists and the amazing releases they have, the podcast. Everything. They do a nice job and they're very professional.
Thank you, sir.
Get the merchandise. Get the merchandise too.
The records, obviously.
Yeah. I want a T-shirt.
Yeah, them T-shirts is nice.
T-shirts, actually, we don't have any EPM T-shirts. No.
Yeah.
It is something I've thought about many times, but I haven't actually thought of a design that I'd like enough yet.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe there's something different I need to think about a bit more.
Yeah, I definitely want one. I want the EPM T-shirt.
I'll put my thinking cap on for that for next time.
We
have them ready for you.
We've got some from back in the day, but I've still got one that I do wear occasionally, but it's fading.
Okay.
Dude, I sold all mine out. I sold all mine out too on Instagram. I mean on Bandcamp, because I was trying to sell some in the record stores when I made the Kalamazoo shirts, and it didn't really. But it seemed like when I put them on Bandcamp, every other day I was going to the post office, just and it went. Yeah, I was like, wow, I actually made money off of them.
Yeah.
So that is something I'm thinking about doing again too.
People love t-shirts.
Merch is a good thing, and especially you can like tie it into like downloads or buy something to buy music. It works perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Sure.
Nice, man.
All right, people, let's give it up for Oliver and Jonas. EPM.
Hey guys, thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for having us on your show, man. And it's been great, and definitely up for doing it again sometime.
Yeah, good fun.
We definitely gonna do it
for sure. All right, gentlemen, I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
Have a good gig today.
Thank you. I will. All right. All right.
Take care, guys.
So interview. Has some little technical things, but we can kind of make most of it out.
Yeah.
Who knows? But they're willing to come back, and like Donnell said, he's gonna put these questions out, or you can comment or email and get with questions, because like I said earlier, there's a lot of things that I didn't know, but most people don't know when they get into this stuff, but this distribution thing, especially the publishing thing, and it's good to know, because in the long run, it's good to make some money back on your investment, because you do invest in this stuff with equipment, time, effort, and just creativity. It is an investment, so to be able to recoup some of that is a good thing. So
good to know, guys. Read up on it. Definitely read up on publishing, so you know what your publisher is actually doing.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so that being said, like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, let people know that you were here, that we are here, and we are doing great things. It helps us get into these algorithms.
It will make us happy.
There you go. Just make us happy. Support.
Nice. Come on, make us old man happy. Give us something to talk about for years.
We are getting old. That's whatever. So. We're also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. Follow us on Instagram, MS Live with D-KNOX, and on Twitter /X Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at MS Live with D-KNOX. Also, send that email, y'all, mslive with D-KNOX@gmail.com. Let us know what you want. Especially when he puts this thing out, email us these questions so we can get this thing on, get this thing going. Also, support the show if you would like to donate on PayPal, mslive with D-KNOX@gmail.com, or scan the QR code that's in the video that's about to disappear now. So we don't like to keep it up there every time, but it's about to disappear. So donate, set it up. Great. I keep showing this because it's important. Tim Xavier and D-KNOX Soulcraft drops July 17th. So on Face to Face Records, there should be previews out somewhere, I believe. I'll try to get the links and stuff to put this up on the socials, but go check it out. It's a dope release, and I will be playing some of this today at some point. And a few hours, I will be playing at Techtroid.
Yes, he will. He will be serving them up.
Electronic Music Festival at 5:30 to 7. If you're around, go check it out. It's going to be great. There's some of the Sunday lineup highlights. Me, of course. Juan Atkins, and I believe his daughter. I could be wrong. Blake Baxter is playing live later tonight. Billy Bob, who's been on the show, will be closing the Dome tonight. A couple other people. Stacey Howick Hale and John Collins also. So tonight, It's going to be a great night, and I think there's some after parties that are going on too. So if you're around the Detroit area, please come out. Go to TechTroit, www. It's going real slow right now. TechTroit.com for more information. And best of all, y'all, it is free. It is free.
Right.
What's not free is my birthday party. Secret location in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Saturday, July 25th, 2006, Grand Rapids. Yeah. Go check it out. It's the day after my birthday. Tickets are available on Resident Advisor. You can look it up. If you go to my name, look me up. It has my upcoming gigs there. So, got playing Chicago Skyway, Laura Endorf, Joshua Tree, and Mike Ned, and a special secret special guest is going to be there. So that'll get announced probably the day of, but go check it out. It's going to be a great party in my hometown, Grand Rapids, Michigan, celebrating my birthday. So yeah, go over to the Sonic Mind Bandcamp page, D-KNOX's label. Grab some music, grab some merch if it's still there. Go check it out. Good music, good merch, good vibes, everything. Sonic Mind Records Bandcamp page. Sonic Mind Records, Bandcamp.com. It's with a dash between the Sonic and the Mind, y'all. Go check it out. Also, I have my Somewhere In podcasts on my SoundCloud page. If you go to my SoundCloud, Myles Sergé, in the playlist Somewhere In, it's my podcast. I do things every now and then. I'm doing one probably next couple of weeks, so check it out. Also, check out our good friends over at the Decisive Podcast Series. This is Roberto Ingram's podcast, which me and Donnell will actually be guests on Wednesday, July 8th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I believe that's 4 p.m. you guys' time in Europe. So check it out. Us on the Decisive Podcast Series with Roberto Ingram. And while you're over there, y'all, go show him the same love and respect that you show us. Go like and subscribe to his wonderful podcast. Yes, it is. Coming up next, MS Live with D-KNOX. Sunday, July 12th is the next show. Taking about a week off because it's the holidays over here on my side. Sunday, July 12th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. CET. We will have in the house DJ Scent, Detroit pioneer. If you haven't heard of her, check it out. Check us out on that day. Sunday, July 12th, DJ Scent, y'all. So, last minute comments. Bert, we'll have to listen back working on the show with EMS Live team, EPM, all guys are great. We'll check out their podcasts. Our guy.
Yes.
What's up, guy? Cool at Roberto. And nice. Yeah, thank you. He's referring to DJ Sin. Yes, she's doing great things over there. So go check her out. She has a radio show that I actually had a mix on a couple of weeks ago. So in Detroit, really nice. All right, Mr. Knox, give us those nice words.
Words for the week is stay cool, people. Stay cool. I'm not talking about just beating the heat, but stay cool with yourself. Love yourself. And keep watching our show and give us more love. So that's what I'll leave you with, and the double horn, of course.
See, he must have did something wrong because there ain't no fireworks and no display.
Sometimes it don't, it's too hot for that.
Too hot for all that.
Right. But yeah, y'all, just like we said, show more love.
That's true.
We show you love.
That's true. That's very true. And at the end, like I say every week, check out our supporters, sponsors, pseudo sponsors, friends and family in the back. Go check them out. Especially the Lincoln Street soap. That's my girl Mo. She does the thing. She holds it down. And occasionally you'll see at the bottom during the show, there's promo codes to go get a discount. She ships worldwide. She's based in Dearborn in Michigan, but the soap you can get the soap anywhere. Just order it. So go check it out, y'all. Till then, we'll see you in about 2 weeks. Yep. So take care. As D said, stay cool, especially to my people over there in Europe. I don't know how y'all do it. I did it for a short stint, and I'm glad I'm back here. All right, y'all. Take it easy. Peace.